Today we're going to talk about audiobooks and what it's like on the back end for an author who publishes them for any interested authors out there and also potentially interested readers. So after I did my post about Publishing Empire last night, this is post 10 out of 100, by the way, I think. I had somebody, these reposts to YouTube, and somebody on YouTube was like, I only like human voices, which is totally valid. You are allowed to have your feelings and to only listen to things you want to listen to. I'm not going to make you listen to anything otherwise. But I think it's important for people to be aware of how the math works as an author on the back end. So let's go there because this is my series all about going there. So for my audiobooks, they cost about $400 per finished hour. Per finished hour is about 10,000 words of text. So that's the narration fee. I cover my people's union fees on top of that, and then that's the editing fee. So that's all of those. And I believe that one set of my narrators narrates from a studio, and I have covered their studio fees in the past, I'm pretty sure, and that adds on an extra, probably like $50, something like that. It's a thing with their editor. So, now on the other side of that, when somebody buys a book from Audible or they rent it or whatever you do when you have an Audible membership, I don't know because I don't. I get paid about like $3.50 reliably per book, maybe up to $3.75 per book. I want you guys to remember though that I don't get any choice about what my books are priced at on Audible. Amazon just picks that for me. And then if my books are ever on sale, which is great for my numbers, Amazon picks what that is too. Like I get zero input. So they'll be like you'll be like, oh my God, my numbers are amazing. And then it's like, ha ha ha, wait, your book was on sale. So yeah, so it's the math, it's like looking into a black box, which is one of the reasons why I want to talk about it here so much, because I hear a lot from newer authors that they want to know how audiobooks work and if it's worth for them to sell their rights to Podium or Tantor, which it may be depending on how you do your math. So for me, let's actually look at my back end of ACX. These are my lifetime numbers on a lot of these books, on all of my books. Okay, so here we go. Let me pause it. Okay, we are back in business. So you can see Bend Her, Break Her, and Make Her have done very well. So has my Guarded by the Spiders books. But then if we come down here to like Dragon's Captive, Fated, and Mated, those have done substantially less well. So let's talk about why that is and what it means. So obviously Bend Her, Break Her, and Make Her is like my most popular series, and that series has earned out very well. I think that that's probably done at least like 20 grand, which is fabulous. I'm not dissing that at all. However, though, Dragon's Captive is on there, and Dragon's Captive is a 12-hour long audiobook, so it cost $4,800 to produce, and it has only made me like $1,500 so far. So I am still very much in the red for that particular audiobook. So that's something that a lot of people have to think about when they start off on these journeys, because I have the luxury of a day job, a supportive husband, and no kids. So I can roll the dice on myself and say, maybe in the fullness of time, I will make enough money back on these books that it is okay for me to spend that money. But there are people for which it's not okay to spend that money. So that's where other audiobook publishers come in. So there's like Podium and Tantor. The thing is that when you sign with those, you sign for 7 years. You give away all your rights. And so I myself signed away my dark ink tattoo books to Scribed for $600 each back in 2020, 2021, because I needed some liquidity, because that was before Bend Her, Breaker, and Maker came out. And so I didn't have any, I needed to give them pretty covers basically, and I needed to afford those pretty covers. So I did that. And I don't regret having done it at the time, but I now know that I will never give up the rights to an audiobook again, just because I want to hoard all my own rights. Plus, I sell audio on my direct store, which is a whole nother thing, whether or not people are able to do that themselves. I will say I still have not in no way near recouped the price it took me to narrate Dragon's Captive or Wolf's Princess or Wolf's Rogue, which are longer books and have so far done worse. I just like to have hotels on all my Monopoly properties. And I know of like in 5 to 6 years, maybe 10 years, I don't care. I'm in it for the long haul. They will earn out, but not everybody can play that game. So that's, and when you sell your books to Podium and Tantor, I mean, so some people have to do that, right? Because they're writing romantasy, and those books are huge. So, like, if I was staring down the barrel of like, a 3 book series, and every book in it was like 160,000 words, you can do the math and see how expensive that would be to drop. And you can't fund things like that on Kickstarter. Audiobooks aren't really popular as an add-on, and it would be a lot of money to ask for anyways, just a lot. So you can see why some people might need to turn to AI and to get audiobooks done. So the reason I'm doing it for my night shifted books is because I have a potential rights dispute with those, because the place that bought audiobooks for them originally is still selling moon shifted and night shifted. I believe that when I got the rights reverted back to me in 2021, that those rights came with it. However, I'm not going to spend $4,000 to create a product that I could put on Amazon, only to find out that Amazon is going to take their side, and that money, I'll never see any of it. So that's why I used AI for all 5 of those books, and why I'm only posting them on YouTube, because I didn't do the AI in such a fashion that Amazon would accept it. That said, there's a lot of people in the in-between land who want to have audiobooks. Like, y'all don't even know how often people are up in our social medias being all like, when's the audio coming out? Do you have audio of this? Do you have audio of that? And how painful it would be for somebody to be able to have to say, no, I don't have audio out, even though there's a market for it that's hungry. And not everybody has strong feelings about whether or not it's AI or not. So, I think there's definitely a place for AI narration to fill a gap between what people are able to afford, until perhaps they can come into that. And that's one of the things too I'm going to do with this young adult novel coming up this summer. I'm just going to use AI narration for it. I'm coming out with 2 young adult novels this summer. They're older novels of mine. One of them I strongly believe in. It's going to get the full treatment, and Bunny is going to narrate it for me. It's all in her point of view. It's 80,000 words. And then the other is 108,000 words, which is like an extra grand of money, basically, over that one. It's almost, this is 30,000 more words, so that's 1,200 more dollars that it would have been if I had on top of the other one. So yeah, I'm gonna use AI for that, because I don't know if it's gonna fly, and I don't want to waste money on something that's kind of off-brand for me, but I also want to have it out there for people who are interested in listening to it in that format. So I hope this demystifies audiobooks a little bit on the back end for authors who are like newer authors, or people who are nosy. You can see that like a small percentage of my catalog is really pulling the weight for the rest of it. And I was lucky enough to know in my stomach that Bend Her, Break Her, and Make Her were going to do well. I just knew it, because I've been doing this for 25 years. So I fearlessly invested in the audio for those before they even came out. But I can't say that I would necessarily do that for every book, as is clear by the fact that I'm not going to be doing it for one of these books coming out this summer. So, all right. This is very long, and I'm sorry about that. I'll see you guys next time I do one of these, probably in a day or 2.